3 players create characters that are suicide squad. Hello, hello, my wonderful cultist. And to all those not yet initiated, I'm Hannah, the girl who only just realized that she hasn't introduced herself in the last few episodes. Anyway, I'm back with another RPG horror story for you all. This one comes from Reddit user Stradoverius, and shows what happens when players just don't listen during character creation. The game that got me to ban the Suicide Squad backstory. A while ago, I decided to create a near-future, semi-realistic campaign setting in which humankind had colonized the known solar system. This was a sort of cyberpunk campaign, complete with mega-corporations, body modification, political corruption, and grimy dystopian aesthetics in places. I wrote up my lore, set up my Discord server, and began recruiting players for some play-by-post RPG fun. The campaign hook was pretty simple. Characters were to be newly inducted agents of the highest law enforcement organization in the solar system, basically Space Interpol. And over the course of the campaign, they'd be sent on different missions to solve murders, fight space pirates, investigate corruption, and generally have fun being space cops trademark. I only had a few requirements for character creation, those being that A, your character must have some skill that could feasibly apply to law enforcement, combat prowess, scientific skill, etc., and B, you must create a character that is willing to be part of Space Interpol and follow their rules. Pretty simple stuff, and the players knew it all going into character creation. Unfortunately, Rule B turned into a major sticking point. Out of 8 total players, I had 3 problem children, referred to as hacker, thief, and pirate, respectively. These are the 3 that gave me a Suicide Squad backstory. What I mean by Suicide Squad backstory is that, while all unique on the surface, every single one of them hit the same backstory beats to the letter.
I used to be a legendary criminal, despite only being level 4. I eventually got captured. The Space FBI thought I was so good that they couldn't let my level 4 skills go to waste. So they press-ganged me into joining the Space FBI, because clearly giving a career criminal a gun and a badge is a logical step forward. I have a quirky, sarcastic personality and don't respect authority, and almost all of my interactions with superiors are based on the assumption that they can't fire me because they need me.
And that's all of their characters to a T. Hacker was a hacker, pirate was a space bandit, and thief stole stuff. From the beginning, I wasn't a huge fan of these backstories. I've seen this basic backstory plan at least 1,000 times, both as player and DM. It's not that it can't work, it's just that, from an in-character immersion standpoint, I struggle to find reasons why someone would look at these 3 individuals, look at the laundry list of serious felonies they committed between them, grand theft, murder, identity theft, data theft, assault, etc., and think,
yeah, we can definitely trust these guys with top-secret information and high-tech weaponry.
I allowed it because at the time I was worried that putting too much restriction on the players would cause them to lose interest in the game. Not only that, but I was trying to shoehorn another player's concept for an anthropomorphic fox into the game, so griping about their backstories took a back seat to figuring that out. Ironically, the furry character ended up being less of a problem than they were. He at least created a character that fit the hook, aside from being a fox dude. Anyway, the campaign starts with the players landing in the headquarters of Space Interpol. Things go fine right up until they finally get into the meeting room with the NPC that acts as their mission handler and direct superior. Immediately, things aren't going well. Pirate alludes to the time he killed a bunch of government agents by stabbing them in the chest in front of his new boss, a facet of his backstory that he didn't discuss with me. They openly insult the guy, calling him a cunt in languages they assume he doesn't understand, and generally blowing him off as an authority figure and acting unprofessional. This wouldn't be such a problem if they weren't talking to the one NPC that had some authority to terminate them. What's supposed to be a brief intro sequence where they receive their badges and get briefed on their first mission ends up as a long sequence of their handler arguing with them about their conduct and threatening to fire them. Since the criminal players that were instigating this interaction were starting to look like massive liability to any law enforcement agency that took itself seriously. I know this might sound controlling from me as a GM, but the expectations were pretty clear. Make a character that wants to be part of this organization being chief among them. I run games with roleplay as a focus, so I try to keep consequences realistic, and the realistic consequence in that instance would have been to fire them immediately. I don't see this as controlling at all. The character requirements were simple, minimal, and straightforward. And as it should be in a role-playing game, actions have consequences. Whether that's getting hit by a trap that the character didn't check for, or getting fired because they treated their boss like crap. Eventually, I had all I could take, and decided to bring it up out of character before I had to pull the trigger and terminate them in character. I basically told the players that I was running out of reasonable excuses for this guy not to immediately fire them and send them back to jail, and that they needed to dial back the insubordination, at least with this one specific NPC, if they wanted to actually serve Space Interpol. Complete silence, both in and out of character. The only Suicide Squad character that made any comment in character or out of character was Hacker, who said something passive-aggressive about their character
Just not working in this game.
and
I'll just make a new one.
I managed to get a token
Yeah, we'll dial it back.
from them, but they never started posting again after that. Eventually, their lack of activity and my own unwillingness to play with their characters killed the game. I made this game with the aim of making character creation as open as possible, but that ended up biting me when the characters created didn't fit the hook in the slightest. Am I the asshole here? I feel like I tried to communicate the intentions of the game pretty clearly both in and out of character, but I also feel bad for greenlighting those characters, only to decide later that they just didn't work the way they were being played. TLDR. I create a law enforcement game. 3 players create characters that are Suicide Squad-style career criminals. Conflict ensues. OP, you are definitely not the asshole here. Yes, you did approve the characters that might have been problematic, but like you said in your post, that sort of backstory can work if played properly. Maybe if they were trying to clean their record or start a new life by agreeing to whatever deal that got them on the force. Even the issues with authority could have been worked into a wonderful character development arc. Unfortunately, it seems like the players weren't willing to work with the GM or budge on their character concepts. It's also unfortunate that the game fell apart, because it sounds like an awesome idea. Hopefully the GM can find another group and try again. Sometimes that's really all you can do. Well, my lovely cultists, it's time to say goodnight. And if you enjoyed this horror story, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more just like it. And if you're feeling particularly frisky, maybe post a comment down below and share the video with your friends. All these things help my channel grow, as well as keeping the algorithm Shoggoth from breaking free and eating me and everyone. Anyway, may your table be good and the dice ever roll in your favor. Until next time, everyone, when the stars align. Characters were to be newly inducted agents of the highest law enforcement organization. Pretty simple stuff. And
We can definitely trust these guys with top secret
Freaking allergies. Why? Insurrection. And the realistic consequence in that sequence Sequence? Instance. Jesus. My voice is so gravelly, why?